We all know that feeling. You share an exciting goal with your friends. Maybe you want to start a business, learn a new skill, or make a major life change, and suddenly the room goes quiet. Then come the responses. That's really hard. Are you sure? What if you fail? Maybe you should be more realistic. And just like that, your excitement deflates like a punctured balloon. You tell yourself they're just being practical, that they care about you, but deep down, something feels off. Why does sharing your dreams with the people closest to you sometimes feel like handing them a pin to pop your bubble? This isn't just bad luck with friend groups. This is a pattern that philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche identified over a century ago, and his insights can help us understand why some relationships secretly sabotage our growth while others elevate us to new heights. The problem runs deeper than simple jealousy or negativity. It's about two fundamentally different approaches to life that Nietzsche called master morality and slave morality. But before we dive into Nietzsche's philosophy, let's be honest about what we're really dealing with. You know those friends who always need rescuing during your important moments? The ones who celebrate a little too enthusiastically when your plans don't work out. The group that makes subtle jokes about your self-improvement efforts, calling you too good for us now when you start reading more or going to the gym. These aren't isolated incidents. They're symptoms of something much more systematic. Think about the last time you felt genuinely excited about a personal goal. Now think about how different friends responded when you shared it. Some probably asked thoughtful questions, offered support, or shared their own related experiences. Others might have immediately started listing potential problems, questioned your motivations, or tried to talk you out of it for your own good. The difference between these responses isn't just personality, it's philosophy in action. Nietzsche would say that the first group operates from what he called master morality, while the second embodies slave morality. Now, these aren't moral judgments in the traditional sense. Nietzsche isn't saying one is ethically superior to the other. Instead, he's describing two completely different value systems that shape how people view themselves and others. Master morality is self-determining. People who embody this mindset create their own values based on what they want to become. They define good as anything that promotes strength, growth, creativity, and personal excellence. They take responsibility for their own lives and believe in their power to shape their circumstances. When they see someone else succeeding or taking risks, their instinct is to feel inspired rather than threatened. Slave morality, on the other hand, is reactive. It defines itself in opposition to master morality, creating values based on what's safe, humble, and conforming. In this worldview, good becomes associated with not standing out, not taking risks, and not making others feel bad about their own limitations. The slave morality mindset sees ambition and self-improvement as potentially selfish or unrealistic. Here's where it gets interesting for our friendships. Friends operating from slave morality aren't necessarily bad people, but their value system creates a subtle pressure to keep everyone at the same level. When you start growing or pursuing ambitious goals, it triggers their discomfort because your growth highlights the possibility that they could be growing too, and that makes them confront their own choices to stay in their comfort zone. This manifests in countless small ways. They might consistently steer conversations away from your goals and back to comfortable topics like gossip or complaints. They celebrate your failures a little too enthusiastically while downplaying your successes. They use guilt, shame, and fear of missing out to keep you participating in activities that don't serve your growth. Most insidiously, they frame their discouragement as caring advice. I just don't want to see you get hurt. The psychology behind this is what Nietzsche called resentment. It's not that these friends consciously want to sabotage you, but your growth makes them feel uncomfortable about their own stagnation. Rather than using that discomfort as motivation to grow themselves, they unconsciously work to bring you back down to their level. It's the social version of crabs in a bucket. When one crab tries to climb out, the others pull it back down. But recognizing this pattern is just the beginning. The real question is, what do we do about it? Nietzsche believed that we have a choice. We can either get pulled into the slave morality mindset, accepting limitations and settling for mediocrity to keep everyone comfortable, or we can embrace what he called the will to power, the drive to grow, create, and overcome obstacles. The will to power isn't about dominating others. It's about constantly evolving beyond your current limitations. It's the force that drives you to learn new things, take on challenges, and become more than you were yesterday. And here's the crucial part. This force is either supported or suppressed by the people we spend time with. So, how do you know if a friendship is supporting your will to power or suppressing it? Start paying attention to how you feel after spending time with different people. Do you leave feeling energized and inspired, or drained and doubtful? When you share good news, do they ask follow-up questions that help you think through your next steps, or do they immediately start pointing out potential problems? Can you be authentic about your struggles without them using those vulnerabilities against you later? This is what I call the friendship audit, and it's based on Nietzschean principles. You're not judging people's character. You're evaluating whether the relationship supports your growth or inhibits it. Some friends might be wonderful people who simply operate from a different value system that doesn't align with your goals. The next step is learning to set boundaries with energy-draining relationships. This doesn't mean cutting everyone off dramatically. It means gradually spending less time with people who consistently discourage your growth and more time with those who elevate you. When the discouraging comments come, you don't need to argue or justify yourself extensively. A simple, "I appreciate your concern, but I'm committed to giving this a try," is often enough. But what about finding the friends who will actually support your growth? Nietzsche would say you need to seek out what I call noble friendships. Relationships based on mutual respect for each other's individual paths. These are friendships where both people are committed to their own growth and genuinely celebrate each other's victories. They're not threatened by your success because they're focused on their own journey of self-overcoming. You'll find these relationships in growth-oriented environments: classes, workshops, entrepreneurship groups, fitness communities, creative spaces. These are places where people gather specifically because they want to improve or create something. The shared commitment to growth creates natural bonds between people who might otherwise have nothing in common. Noble friends challenge you to be better, but in a supportive way. They'll give you honest feedback when you need it, but it comes from a place of wanting to help you succeed, not from resentment or fear. They celebrate your victories genuinely because your success doesn't threaten their self-worth. It inspires their own growth. This might sound idealistic, but think about the best friendships you've ever had. Chances are, they embodied these qualities. These are the people who believed in your dreams before you fully believed in them yourself. They're the ones who saw your potential, even when you couldn't see it, who encouraged you to take risks that led to your biggest breakthroughs. The beautiful thing about this approach is that it's self-reinforcing. When you start embodying master morality principles, taking responsibility for your growth, setting boundaries with energy drains, and celebrating others' successes, you naturally attract people who operate the same way. Your friend group gradually shifts from people who hold you back to people who elevate you. But this transformation requires courage. It means accepting that some friendships might fade as you outgrow them. It means being willing to spend some time alone while you find your tribe. It means risking the discomfort of disappointing people who want you to stay the same. As Nietzsche wrote, you must be ready to burn yourself in your own flame. How could you rise anew if you have not first become ashes? This doesn't mean becoming selfish or abandoning people who are struggling. It means recognizing that you can't help others grow by limiting your own growth. The best thing you can do for people stuck in slave morality is to model master morality. Show them what's possible when someone commits to their own development. Looking around at our current social media landscape, you can see these dynamics playing out on a massive scale. People tear down others' achievements, celebrate failures, and create elaborate justifications for why success is somehow morally suspect. The comment sections are full of slave morality disguised as moral superiority, but you can also find communities of people genuinely supporting each other's growth, sharing knowledge, and celebrating collective elevation. The choice is yours. You can participate in the race to the bottom, where everyone agrees to limit themselves to make others comfortable, or you can commit to your own path of self-overcoming and find others who share that commitment. Your future self is counting on the decision you make today. Remember, life is short and precious. We get one shot in this reality to become everything we're capable of becoming. Don't let the fear-based limitations of others dictate the boundaries of your own life. Surround yourself with people who see your potential and aren't threatened by it. Find your noble friends and become one yourself. Your dreams are too important to entrust to people who don't believe in them.